So now I'm ready to press my patterns that I've cut out to my fabric scraps here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the fabric so that the right side is facing down and the wrong side is facing me. I'm going to take my pattern piece with the shiny side. I'm going to place it on the wrong side of the fabric. I did not add a 1/4 inch when I made these patterns. I'm going to need to cut a 1/4 inch around. So if I put the pattern like this, I'm not going to have a 1/4 inch seam allowance there, so I need to move it. And then I take a hot dry iron and I press. And what's going to happen is you're going to have a piece where the paper is pressed to the fabric, and I'm going to cut. I'm going to eyeball about a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around this circle. I want to be consistent. It's not going to really cause problems if you cut a big seam allowance like that, but when you go to fold that over, you're going to have some excess fabric. So it's actually better to use that 1/4 inch, seam all the way around. You don't want to cut it much smaller than this because then it's hard for you to handle. So that 1/4 inch all the way around. So the same thing I'm going to do with the star. I'm going to take my fabric. I'm going to place the right side of the fabric down, facing my pressing area, and then I'm going to take my star. I'm going to make sure that I've got a 1/4 inch all the way around the star, and then I'm going to take my hot dry iron and press. I'm using this as my pressing area because I need a flat surface to press when I'm using freezer paper, not this fluffy towel that I mentioned earlier for pressing. That comes after I've made after I've done the block. So you notice this didn't stick on very well, so I'm going to take, that's okay, I just need to press a little bit longer. The shiny side of the fabric kind of melts and it adheres. So now I'm ready to cut this. And once again, I'm going to cut or eyeball while I'm cutting a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I don't want to cut off the tips because when I have to base this, I'm going to need those tips. So I'm going to go all the way around and cut out this star. And the next thing I'll be talking about is how to base this in place.